What's up, mob? Hey, how we doing? So I got 5 things in no particular order that Supercross could do to make it better. And I know a lot of you guys are going to say like, oh, get your own series, or if you know so much, do your own. No, listen, they do an amazing job and they do some awesome things. But I got some simple things that can make the sport better if they choose to go down that road. So the advice is free. Take it for what it is, and that's it, guys. I do think some of the things are good ideas, maybe not all of them, but let me know what you guys think. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to talk a little bit of politics. I'll give you a little break, so those of you that don't want to hear my politics, just shut it off. I don't want to hear your complaints about this is a motocross channel, and I don't want to hear politics. You got a warning. I will give you a little pause, and then I'm going to go into it. So if you want to hear it, hang around. If you don't, then don't. A lot of people have asked on YouTube, how do you get paid? Is it subscriptions? Is it views? Is it length of view? We get paid on views, but the algorithm that pushes those views is based off of subscriptions. So subscriptions absolutely definitely help the channel. If you could subscribe, I would appreciate it, because a lot of my viewers are not subscribed, and I would imagine you don't really want to support me that much. But guess what? You're supporting the genre. They gauge the genre of all the motocross channels based on subscriptions. So if you don't want to help me, subscribe for your other motocross channels, or the fact that you want this genre to succeed. So.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say that's the bad guy.
First thing I would change about Supercross, and this is in no particular order, is tough blocks. Tough blocks started off as hay bales. Then they advanced to these cushioned tough blocks, which were an awesome safety advancement. They have now progressed into billboards that are sold as part of an advertising package program for whoever sponsors the series, and they get a certain amount of tough blocks on the track. My advice is change them. You don't put them on rhythm sections. If you have to have them and you're going to sell them, you build a little ledge just outside of the track and you set them there. Or if you really want to improve tough blocks, make them triangles so they don't grab these, razor sharp foot pegs that people have and they don't get kicked out as easy. And make them longer. If you make them longer and maybe some arching shapes that can go with the jumps, you'll actually have less chance of them getting kicked out. I mean, how many guys have you seen crash where just somebody in front of them hits the tough block, it flies in front of them, and they crash? Yes, it's awesome that the tough blocks are soft, but there's still that's not the end all, guys. That's not the end all. We can still make it better. Triangle, longer, if you want to build them off to the side a little bit, but that's definitely a hazard to these tracks. And the faster these guys go and the bigger the jumps get, they stop putting them on landings of triples because it's a big jump, right? So you don't know exactly where you're going to land. The problem with that is rhythm sections. Guys are jumping further than the triples these days. So yeah, by logic, you'd want to get them off the rhythm section where you really can't. So you're going to have to start building maybe a 6-inch ledge halfway down or off the side of the jump. It might actually add a better view for the sponsors. And it also allows for a wider track and more racing. So that is the first thing I would like to change. Hey guys, it's cold and flu season. If you need some stuff to stay healthy, hit up the Coach Rob store. You know Coach Rob, Complete Racing Solutions. He's got programs for everybody. Hit up the Coach Rob store. Get yourself some supplements and build that immune system. So the next thing about Supercross I would change, obviously pay more money, but an easy way to help that is stop charging entry fees. Why on earth do the participants, the show, the product, why are they being charged to compete in your event that you sell tickets for? It doesn't make sense. Do football players get charged to go play football? Do baseball players? It doesn't make sense. So stop with the entry fees. It's outdated. You guys have enough sponsor money. You have enough ticket sales. Stop charging your riders. Guys, if you want to turn your garage into a Barrett-Jackson showroom, hit up Epic Garage Designs. They got racks, flooring, and everything you need. Another thing I would change about Supercross is, and I've talked to Brock Glover at Dunlop about this, he said it would take about 2 years of a rolling change to get this implemented, but you lower the knobby height, much like they do in European Enduros so it doesn't tear up the trails. It won't tear up the tracks as much. It will not hurt the racing. Brock told me with a reasonable amount of development time, they wouldn't lose much traction by running a tire with a lower knob, and the track wouldn't get torn up. It's still going to get torn up. These bikes are too fast. The tire manufacturers are too good at making grip, even without a giant razor on the tire. So at this point, I think that that's a good idea and something they should look at. Guys, we got an election year coming up, and I'm gonna give some political advice at the end of this, but if you wanna support Ride Strapped, Let's Go Branding goggles, Patriot goggles, the cool shirts, go to ridestrap.com and get yourself something. The other thing I want in Supercross is I want to reduce the amount of human flaggers on the track, especially in front of jump sections. And Feld does an amazing job with their opening ceremonies. Their pyrotechnics and lighting is through the roof. So you cannot tell me they don't have the technology to just put lights out there, multiple lights on both sides of the jump. So when you do want to throw the red cross flag, you have lights. We have a yellow light for yellow, red for stop the race, green for you're going, and then let's try purple or some weird color that gets these guys' attention if you have to single the jumps. That way we would have less disqualifications. It would be easier. It would be safer. Now we don't have a human in harm's way out there on the track. It would just be more productive. And listen, where we're at with technology, it's not that big of a deal. Come on, guys. Feld, I know they can do it with their lights and their production crew. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. I'm not saying don't get rid of flaggers completely. You'll have to have some people out there guiding, directing, pulling bikes off of people, but we can limit the amount and add a safer race. If you're shipping anything, use Precision Transport. If you use a trucking company, you know how difficult they are to deal with, not Precision Transport. And guess what? They support motocross big time. This is an awesome company who you're going to see a lot more of in the coming years. So go to Precision Transport. It's pretransport.com and just check them out if you're shipping anything. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about in Supercross that needs to be changed is they've made a great step with the Futures series. And the Futures, I like it. I love giving these guys a taste of Supercross before they get out there. Problem is, if you're an up-and-coming rider and you don't have a connection, how do you get into the Futures? There needs to be a legitimate qualification to get riders into it. If you still want to just have the manufacturers be able to appoint a few people, go for it. But there needs to be some sort of a qualification process for some kid that nobody knows that happens to be really good at Supercross or has a track at his yard that can get qualified in without having to pull a whole bunch of strings, and will get a true feeder series. That's something I would like to see. They're on the right track. They've gotten a lot better. That's the next step, is make sure that there's a way to feed people into it and qualify into it rather than just be nominated. Okay, guys, I'm going to pause this for just 1 second. I know a lot of you guys hate when I talk politics, so you guys go away. I don't want you to hear this. I don't want you mad about the politics. The video's over when it comes to motocross. Okay, now that we've got rid of the people that don't want to hear about politics, we're in a dangerous, dangerous time right here for both Democrats, Republicans, and Americans in general. What Colorado has done by removing Trump off the ballot is despicable. Can you guys remember the last time somebody was removed from a ballot? We ended up in a civil war. Yes, that's the last time that states decided to remove a particular candidate off a ballot. And I look at history to determine the future, and that terrifies me. That should terrify Democrats. It should terrify everybody. If you don't want Donald Trump to be president, vote him out. That's it. Vote him out. You remove him from the poll, from the ballot. That is despicable. That's what happens in these other countries that they tell us we're not like. That sounds like something that Putin would do. It sounds like something that these dictators in these small countries, they do stuff like that. And, you could say, oh, well, he incited the insurrection. Well, stop. Are you telling me Biden and Hunter and a laptop? Look, there's both sides. I'm just saying neither side needs to do this. This is terrifying. And this is one step. This is right where last time this happened, it led to civil war, that and a bunch of other issues. But we are boiling right now. And that is, according to history, this is a bad precedent. We cannot be removing guys from the ballot That's terrible, and I don't think we should do it. So, guys, speak up what you can, talk to whoever you can. Like I said, it doesn't matter which side or who your candidate is. We cannot be removing people from the ballot based on these stupid ideas and things that maybe you were convicted of, maybe not convicted of. If you don't like what they've done, don't vote for them. That's it. It's United States, and we have to have that option, and that's what separates us. That's what we are. So just, we're all Americans, and like I said, no matter who you vote for, removing someone from the ballot from either side is wrong. All right, guys, if you need a real estate agent, I can get you a place anywhere in the country. I work with Berkshire Hathaway. We are a worldwide agency. So if you're in my area, I can be your agent. If you're outside of my area, I will find you somebody local to that area that understands it and will fight for you and get you the price you want for your house, get you a discounted price for the house you're buying, or find you a rental. So hit me up, chriscookseymedia@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. And guess what? Supercross is right around the corner. So I can't